You're watching E.T.N. Entertainment-related new, entertainment-related discussion. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to talk a little bit more about the information we found out yesterday regarding Vera Farmiga's character in Godzilla King of the Monsters. And after putting up the video and seeing everybody's comments, a lot of great engagement and a lot of very, very good points, especially from people who are a little bit concerned with this approach. And I absolutely understand where they're coming from. You know, I was giving it a lot of good thought last night after I put the video up, and most of this morning as I was thinking about tonight's live stream and what we're going to discuss. And, you know, I got to say that there is definitely cause for some concern with this. And I think that this approach they're going with, I think it can work. I think it's a matter of just how much control can she have. And I think if they keep that control limited, when I say limited, I mean maybe to two parts in the movie. You know, like let's just say, you know, if she's controlling them throughout the whole thing, I can see that being a problem, absolutely. But if there's only certain points in the movie that she has control, or she accidentally or gains some kind of control, then it could probably be okay. Now, this whole idea is not, you know, this is not brand new. You know, we've seen this before in other Godzilla movies, so I don't think there's too much cause for concern yet. We don't know exactly what kind of control she's going to have and how much control she's going to have throughout the film. We've seen Godzilla movies where he's been controlled by aliens for half the movie. We've seen films where, for example, 1984 or 1985, whichever one you watched, he was under some sort of, I don't want to say control, but he was being motivated to go in a certain direction. So we've seen this sort of stuff before. So I think it's only fair to judge it and to be concerned about it once we learn more. Maybe even have to wait till we actually see the movie just to see how much this is going to play a role. But I do understand the cause for concern, because I definitely don't want a movie where a monster or the monsters are being completely controlled throughout the whole film. I've been very critical of this idea before as well. When Jurassic World was first announced and they were talking about the velociraptors being under some sort of control, I was very critical about that. But when the movie came out, it turns out that they executed it a lot better than I had pictured it in my mind. And because it turned out that they weren't really under control. There was just a way for them to communicate with the raptors enough to try and steer them in the right direction. Blue was the only real exception, because there was a certain bond there between Blue and Pratt's character. But outside of that, the raptors were never really under control. If they take a similar approach like that with this movie, where you never really control any of the monsters, but in certain occasions you can steer them in the right direction, if you use that communication that you have knowledge of, to more use it to understand what they might be communicating as opposed to actually communicating with them, then I can see that working fine. But if it's direct 100% control, I tell you to go here and you go there, and if something like that happens for a long portion of the movie, then yeah, I think that will be a problem. Even for me, I'd have a problem with that, because then you're not looking at the monsters taking their own actions. You're looking at the monsters taking the actions of the humans and what the humans want them to do. And we don't want that. We really don't want that. As excited as I am, I can definitely criticize that. That's not something I would want. But I do think it's too early to get a little bit too concerned. We've heard before where, again, Jurassic World's a prime example. I thought the way they said it, the way it was being spoken, it made it sound like they were going to control the raptors. They really didn't control the raptors. They just had a way of communicating with them to try and help steer them in the right direction. Even in the beginning of the movie, you could see how hard it is to really try and communicate and train the raptors, because even when he had that one session where they were following his commands and all that, the guy fell into the pit and they still almost killed their trainer. So, that's why at Jurassic World, when I saw the movie, I was like, okay, good. They didn't go buck wild with that. It just happened to be, sometimes when the actors or reports come out and you hear these details, your mind starts going crazy. You start thinking the worst. So I'm using Jurassic World as a learning experience to say that until we actually see it playing out to our worst nightmare, we can't really assume that that's what's going to happen. And I think if they're smart, they know that that's not what's going to happen. But on the same token, we shouldn't completely be surprised to see a Godzilla movie where something like that could happen, because that's happened in quite a few Godzilla movies where the monsters are under control. Destroy All Monsters, Monster Zero, to some extent Godzilla 1984-85. Trying to think of there's got to be at least one or two more that I'm not thinking about right now. But there's definitely been, well, if you want to say Final Wars, while Godzilla wasn't under control, a lot of the other monsters were under the control of the aliens. So that's another example. So we've seen this plenty of times in the MonsterVerse. Some people are concerned that it's going in the cheesy direction. Here's the thing. We have to kind of find a happy medium here, because if people who were complaining about the first movie, complaining about it being way too grounded, or there's not enough Godzilla, and and now you get a hint that they might go in a more Toho traditional direction, you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? You got to pick something. So I don't mind if they're going to try and go a little bit more in the direction of Toho. I'm fine with that. Because, I mean, a lot of Toho's movies were a lot of fun. You guys know, if you've been here on the channel for a long time, I always called it cheesy goodness. I love that cheesy goodness. But again, I think we should definitely wait and see if we learn more in San Diego. We'll talk more about this tonight. I just kind of wanted to address it now directly, because we're going to talk about a lot of topics tonight. But I wanted to address it more directly because I was reading through the comments, and a lot of people made a great valid points in terms of their concern. There's other people who are on board. Quite naturally, everybody, has their own opinions. But I do think it's a wait and see approach. We have to wait and see. I do think it's something that can work good if it's in a controlled and if it's minimal. But I do agree, and I will say that if it's something that's part of the plot in terms of exclusively doing this and having it happen throughout most of the movie, then, that could be a problem, definitely. But that's really what I have to say. That's my opinion. I would say let's not, there's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about. And right now we just don't have any more information other than that her character is going to have this capability, whether it's through science or whether it's through, certain powers. It looks like it's going to be science though. It all depends to how much, if she has if she has a way of controlling them, in the sense that for a brief period, she could, like, let's say, stop or stun a monster or something like that, or prevent it from knocking down a building, even if it's only for a moment, and then after that she loses control of them. Something like that, something like that is fine. But if she's directing them across the planet and controlling them and preventing them from doing anything other than what she wants, I definitely don't want that. Not at all. Not at all. If you guys, I'm scratching my leg with a back scratcher. I had a little itch on my leg. I'm like, so that way you guys don't think I'm doing anything crazy. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll talk more about it tonight's stream, 9 p.m. here on the channel. I hope to see you guys there. And obviously we'll talk a lot more in the weeks coming, leading up to Comic-Con, which is actually probably a week from this Saturday, a week from this Friday. We'll see. So let's talk about it tonight, and then we'll hope we get more information at Comic-Con. Until later, guys, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Or you can click here to become an E.T.N. patron. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.